Greetings from a very warm and sunny Spanish beach. I'm still in Spain, southwest of Spain, and I'm here to talk about a rather fascinating case, a really famous Spanish UFO case actually that happened in 1989. And leading up to this, for about 2 weeks, the residents where I'm at the moment in Conil de la Frontera, they were seeing these strange lights out of the ocean. They would sort of dance around in complete silence. There'd be different colours like whites and reds. And this was going on for about 2 weeks. And then on the Friday, the 29th of September, a group of young people from the ages of about 17 to 21, they decided to come down to the beachfront with a pair of binoculars. And at this point, some of the lights started to come in closer to the land, and some of them actually started to hover above the town. Another alongside the port, which is quite close by to here, that the young people saw these 3 beings coming out of the ocean itself. 2 of the beings, very strange. They were wearing white cloaks, they had these white heads, no hair, they had no facial features, they had these like black holes where their eyes should be, but they couldn't really see any eyes there at all. And they walked very rigidly as they came out of the ocean. And then it gets stranger. These 2 beings then decided to lie on the sand, and then a white-blue orb just came down from the sky, and they started to play with this orb. They were throwing this orb between each other like it was some kind of toy. And as you do when you're sort of sat on the beach, they started to move the sand around, and so they started to make this like a sand mound, like a crescent-shaped mound in the sand itself. And then it got even stranger that these beings then just magically just changed into human beings. And people report them looking quite sort of German-like or Dutch-like. There's a lot of Dutch and German tourists here. They just look like that, and they're wearing normal civilian clothes, wearing jeans and a skirt and t-shirts. That one of them was male, one of them was female. And they just walked away from the beach into the town and allegedly walked into a particular hotel. So this 3rd being that came out of the ocean was a lot different, it was a lot taller. Again, it had this inverted pear-shaped head, no facial features, no real eyes, no hair. And it was wearing this kind of black catsuit or a black jumpsuit. And when this being moved, it didn't really seem to walk in a traditional sense, it seemed to just float through the air in a strange way. It had this very strange sort of mist surrounding it as well, so it was quite hard to see how it operated, how it moved. What's incredible about this story is the fact that it was so widely reported. It was reported all across Spain, and that's why it's become such a cemented, famous Spanish ufology story. And I think a day or 2 after the event actually occurred, quite a famous ufologist, J.J. Benitez, he came down to this area to investigate more. And he tracked down these individuals who kind of checked into this hotel, these white cloaked beings who just magically changed into these humans. He tracked them down, and they checked in, and they said they were actually Dutch engineers. And again, I think it was like the time when J.J. Benitez was investigating, he was asking questions of people in the area. He saw these beings, these humans on the beach, and started to try to approach them. And then they quickly basically just disappeared off into the ocean itself. Just as I'm talking about how militarized this whole area is, there's another military helicopter just about to fly over. And again, I don't think I've lived anywhere in the world I've seen so much military activity, military vehicles, military helicopters. I just always keep hearing in this area as well, like strange booms in the background. This is another occurrence in this area. I'll just flip the camera now and you can see the helicopter. Can you see that? There you go.
Now, as we fly through space together, there is a parallel case that is important to mention alongside this Spanish case. Whilst young witnesses in Conil de la Frontera saw otherworldly beings playing with blue white orb beach balls and forming crescent shapes in the sand, 2 days earlier in Russia, 600 miles from Moscow in a town called Voronezh, another significant UFO landing and interaction with beings occurred. It's reported a circular UFO landed in a city park, and then a 3-meter tall being, this time with a robot companion, emerged from the craft. The main witnesses to this event, as it turns out, were children. Similar to the Conil case, the incident, rather than being buried or hidden, it was widely reported by Soviet news. The fact that 2 very similar sightings in 2 different parts of the world involving young people, and then widely being reported by respective media, is of note. I have highlighted many times that in 1980, very similar UFO cases in Todmorden, Rendlesham, Cash Landrum in Texas, and they recently discovered another case in Algeciras in Spain, again in 1980. I don't think anyone really looks at these cases collectively, because they are so close to each other and have many shared details. It feels now these types of sightings and interactions are rare compared to previous decades. Are these sophisticated psychological operations by breakaway covert human civilizations? Or something deeper and more authentic? I really don't know. The children and young people aspect to the witnesses, and even the playful behaviour of the Conil beings in the sand, I can't help but think this maybe has some deeper meaning. Anyway, let's now all return to the beach.
I mean, since moving here, I've never lived anywhere in my entire life that's felt so energetically beautiful. It's been an amazing place to come to. Every time I kind of dig into the history of this place and some of the stranger stories, there's just so much here, so much esoteric knowledge, so many esoteric events, events of high strangeness. And even like going out under the night sky, under the stars, I'm seeing like quite a lot of orb activity in the sky and things flashing back at me. So activity for me in terms of like seeing UFOs or orbs, whatever you call these things, it's gone up massively since I've come to this area, and I think it's all down to the energies. And I think because of that is why it's such a highly militarized place, and as I've been trying to film here, there's been like military helicopters coming over the top of my head every hour or so. And there's a huge US military base, naval base to the north of here in Rota, and as you go down towards the south, towards Tarifa, there's just military installations all the way down, a lot of them naval. And I think this is linked to the Earth energies that are here. And it's not just Earth energies and UFOs and military activity around here. I mean, there's a lot of rich history here. And this place stretches all the way back to the Phoenicians. And the Phoenicians being quite a mystical group of people. They probably had quite a high understanding of astrology and Earth energies, more than we do now anyway. And there's lots of stories of underground tunnels around Conil de la Frontera, a lot of hiding away of secret knowledge and secret societies like the Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, various Jewish people. So yeah, again, this whole area is just ripe with a lot of very interesting, strange, esoteric history. As I continue to walk forwards across the sandy beach, our time has come to a close. This is the end of this video, this strange story in Conil de la Frontera of these strange beings coming out of the ocean. I mean, this area is just ripe with so much, there's so much going on. And you know, there's so many stories, again, that kind of stretch all the way back potentially to Atlantis, various divers, seeing strange architecture in the ocean floor and geometric patterns, and lots of USOs, unidentified submerged objects coming out of the ocean. So it's quite a regular thing here, like all this strange activity in the ocean. And again, I think it's linked to all the Earth energies here that I'm feeling. It's so beautiful, so heart-centered. I'm excited to bring you more at some point. So until the next time, I'll bid you farewell. Good night, good day, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Bye.